Hi everyone, we are here today with Sarah, and this is our third interview for Moms versus COVID-19. We are going to be talking with Sarah about how her life has been impacted by COVID-19 and what she's doing to help thrive and manage the big feelings that might come along with that. So Sarah, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. If it's okay with you, I would love for you to kind of just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Sarah Ullman. I am 42 years young and a mom of two, married to an amazing husband. I'm also a speech pathologist at the local middle school and high school, and I like to call it a confidence coach instead of a wellness coach. I'm a confidence coach.
I love that.
My job. So I have a lot of different hats that I wear, so trying to juggle them all right now.
Sure, yeah. And so you're kind of impacted by both being a mom, by both working at a school and your business. And so what was your normal routine like before all of this happened?
Okay, so our normal routine before this, I actually just went back to the schools this year. So we were just getting used to a normal routine with both kids being in the middle school and me being there too. So waking up at 5:30, being at work by 7, out by 3:30 most days, doing kids' activities, just the mom stuff,
Sure.
just like running kids here and there, making sure they do their homework, and then also running my wellness business on the side as well, on top of all that. So I would say I'm a pretty busy person. If someone tells me how many plates I'm juggling, I'm like, don't tell me. I don't need to know. You'll stress me out if I start thinking about it.
Yeah, you're just doing it. You're just making it happen. You don't want to overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so now that this all has happened, COVID-19 is here, we're social distancing, there's stay-at-home orders, how has that impacted you both professionally, like with your business and with school, and personally with your family and yourself?
Well, seeing that I'm in the schools in New Hampshire, we were actually really blessed that we already had implemented blizzard bags.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been able to continue with something along those lines. So it wasn't a huge learning curve for us to go online, but it has been a big learning curve because I am in special education. The learning curve for that has been, how do we service these kids appropriately while doing it online? So that's been kind of something that's been up in the air. We're still working on, still always figuring out. So just kind of not knowing what's coming next with my job is kind of hard, because I want to service my students the best that I can. And I also run an after-school club called the Good Vibe Tribe. And I'm having the girls email me, tell me how much they miss the Good Vibe Tribe. And that makes my heart break. And they're like, I miss seeing you on Wednesdays. I miss the Good Vibe Tribe, because the Good Vibe Tribe is all about empowering little girls to become amazing women. It's really it's something. So I feel like not being able to see them every week is it's just a big disservice for all of us. And it just makes me really sad. So that, the students, the Good Vibe Tribe, that stuff is just missing it all, it's hurting my heart. So
yeah, I'm sure.
At home, I am the mom of a almost 12-year-old and a 13-year-old. And they are doing pretty well with the transition to online learning. It's just a matter of, the first 2 weeks, I was like, okay, when we don't know what's going on, we're going to play it by ear. We're not going to be super strict. I was like, okay, you do your homework your work at this time, you do your work at this time, you go outside. I had a little bit of a routine, but then when they told us it was going to go all the way through May 4th, I was like, all right, guys, we've got to buckle down. We've got to buckle down. So we drew up a routine together as a family. They agreed to it on Sunday, and on Monday they were complaining. And it really isn't even that strict, because I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to just be our real family. I don't want to put something out on social media and be like, oh, we're doing this strict schedule and we're following this and blah, 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 blah. If you follow me on social media, I'm the most honest person you will ever be. If you read my captain's logs, they keep me sane every day. I'm like, that was a captain's log moment.
That's so great though, because I think, as we've talked about previously, other moms are looking for people to be honest, because there's so much going on. Most moms are still working, whether from home, working full time. If you work at a school, you're trying to interact with your students and have lessons done. And, some people have multiple children, so you're helping them with their homework and their schoolwork. And then on top of it, you have the stress of just trying to stay healthy and trying to make sure you get in and out of the grocery store as fast as possible. So I think that honesty and that openness is something that people are really looking for, so that they're understanding like, wow, I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only one feeling overwhelmed.
No one is alone in this. The weird thing is that we are all feeling this together as a global community. Yes. It's not just a few of us that are feeling this. It's just, there's a lot of the times where you'll go through something and someone will be like, oh, you know, I feel for you. I've been through that too. This is something the whole entire globe is going through at the same time. And that impact makes you feel alone and not alone at the same time. You know, like sometimes we'll feel really lonely, but we are not alone, never alone. Yeah. There's so many people going through it. We just have to reach out and find the people that we can talk to.
Right. I think that's such a big part. And I know before we talked about, you know, how people are kind of grieving their normal lives.
Exactly. That was my post on social media today. I said, you know what, this too shall pass, but for today, I'm going to mourn my old life. But for today, I'm going to allow myself to be sad. Because you know what, being sad is okay. Telling your kids you're sad sometimes is okay. Saying, you know what, Mama's going through a trauma right now too. I know this is dramatic and traumatic for you. You can't see your friends. You can't go do the things you want to do. You can't go to school. I know it's traumatic for you, but it's also traumatic for moms. Right. And I know you probably don't believe that, but you need to know that your mama is human.
Yeah, of course.
They need to know that their mama is human. They need to know that they're not super women. Even though we are super women. We are human super women.
But even super women can have emotions and feelings and learn to process them in a healthy and functional way.
When you stuff those down is when you have the unhealthy coping mechanisms that come out, like the drinking and the eating and the binge watching TV. And I'm not saying you can't do any of that, because I've done my share of it, but you can't live there. You can't live there. That's not a place for you to be. It's not a healthy place for you to go. It's not a good place for you to live.
Agreed. Yeah. So what would you say is some of the biggest worries or stressors that you are facing right now?
Some of my biggest worries or stressors, honestly, one of my biggest ones is screen time, because I've always been the mom who was like, oh, too much screen time, but I've never been super strict about it. And now I feel like they can't do a whole lot more. So I'm letting them be on their screen time a lot more than I would like to. But I read this amazing article from a mom in Italy who says what she wishes she had done differently before this all started. And one of them was allow more screen time, because this is how they connect with their friends.
Yes.
My kids aren't on screens scrolling things. My kids are talking to their friends.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And when I was young, I had a phone on my ear 22 hours out of the day. So my mom had to get me my own line.
I think when they're using screen time to connect socially, it doesn't count for screen time.
Yeah, that was my thought. And then I looked and how much are they actually using this to connect? And it's the majority of the time they're using it. They're playing with their friends or hanging out with their friends online.
Yeah. No, in my kids, I have twins in 4th grade, and they most of their schoolwork is on the computer. Yeah. So they're on a computer a lot of the day because they're doing schoolwork. And so they sat me down and they said, okay, Mom, like, is this going to eat into our screen time? Because, you know, this is schoolwork and we have to do it. And so they were very strong negotiators to advocate for themselves, that they didn't think that was fair, that they need their time to kind of, you know, unwind and decompress too. So we had a good conversation about that, you know, but when it's nice out, they're outside too, and we find the balance, and that's the key, is finding the balance.
Go for hikes and walks and play on the trampoline and stuff like that. Zach just got a new bike, so he's out on his bike. My 13-year-old just completed a 300-piece puzzle in the last 12 hours.
That's awesome.
He found something else he liked. I'm like, oh, we need more puzzles. It's just a matter of finding something they like. We had to go borrow a puzzle from a friend because we didn't have any.
Yeah. It's good to pull out different things at this point, right? We're going to be inside for a long time. So, you know, you talked about some unhealthy coping strategies of the drinking and the eating and all that stuff. And I have seen so many funny memes on Facebook or Instagram about, you know, when we're out of quarantine, we're all going to need to go you know, all the different things. So, you know, what are you doing to manage your stress and to manage this time in a healthy, functional way? What are your go-tos for self-care?
I have a lot in my toolbox. A lot. Okay. I've been working on this self-development thing for the last 4 years religiously, because 4 years ago, Sarah was a totally different person. 4 years ago, I was depressed. I had a lot of anxiety. I didn't have healthy coping skills. I would eat, I would drink. I would do the things that would stuff the emotion. I wouldn't deal with the emotion.
Yeah.
So now I'm dealing with the emotion, and my 13-year-old is staring at me. Can you leave, please? I'm on an interview. Bye. This is real life, people.
Real life.
He has misophonia, and he triggers on my voice. So, okay, but you need to go in the other room.
Listen.
Goodbye.
I know, but it's kind of important.
Okay, what is important?
They're dead.
Okay, I can talk to you about this after. Everything's important when you're on a call. This
You
is
know
real
what?
life.
I was laughing this morning because I was standing at the sink doing dishes, and my husband was sitting at the counter next to my 3-year-old daughter, and she was eating something, and she had something kind of stuck in her throat, and so her water was empty, and she was like basically asking for more water to help because she was kind of choking a little bit. But instead of turning to my husband right next to her, she's yelling, "Mom, Mom," as she's choking while I'm across the kitchen. And I just turned to my husband after I got away. I'm like, "Why? You're sitting right there." Why? But yet she's still yelling,
walk over him to come to me to tell me.
Right. You know, it's just.
I told
it's
him I'm
so
going to be on an interview at 2:30. Don't come in here until I'm done. They're old enough to understand that directive.
Yeah, it's not an invitation to say, "Come on in and join us." I know.
No, that's basically how they see it.
Real life. Yeah, this is real life.
Yep, this is 13. Everything is more important than what mom's doing. So my healthy coping skills. So over the years, I've developed a really good routine. What I do every morning when I wake up, I've developed a mantra, and my mantra I've been using for probably the last 2 years. Every morning when I wake up, I am happy, I am healthy, I am grateful, I am loved, and I am living in abundance. So it doesn't mean money abundance. It means abundance of everything I need. And I have everything I need right now. I don't need for more. And then I also have that's the mantra for my Good Vibe Tribe, except for I changed it up for them a little bit to I am happy, I am healthy, I am grateful, I am loved, I am confident, and I matter to the world.
I love that.
They say that every single time we start, and then they say Good Vibe Tribe.
Oh, I love that. Can you say that one more time for everyone to hear?
I am happy, I am healthy, I am grateful, I am loved, I am confident, and I matter to the world.
I love that.
And then they all yell out, GVT, Good Vibe Tribe. Awesome.
That's amazing. I love that.
Girls. I miss my girls so much.
I'm sure they miss you too.
Oh, I get texts and emails from them and they're like, we miss you. We miss Good Vibe Tribe. Maybe getting Zoom approved in our district. So if they do, then I'll be able to do a Zoom call with them, and I'll be so excited.
Yeah.
So every morning, like without fail, as soon as my eyes open, or even before they open, as soon as I rise, I say that mantra.
Okay.
And I say, today is going to be an amazing day because that's what I choose. Today I'm going to wear my rose-colored glasses. So working in a middle school, you need rose-colored glasses. Like you gotta wear them every day in middle school and high school. So it's funny because when I do morning duty, I do the same thing to them. I'm like, today is gonna be an amazing day. And they're all like, oh, Mrs. Ullman. It's gonna be the best day ever.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch.
Deep down, I'm sure they love it, right? Deep down, they're like,
they laugh.
She's
they
gonna help me. Yeah.
My kids are like kind of iffy still with me working at their school, but it is what it is. And we're making the best of it. So I do my morning mantra, and then 5 out of 7 days a week, I'm not going to say 7 days a week because I definitely don't do it 5 out of 7 days. I have a gratitude journal, and I write 3 things that I'm grateful for. And then I use the Insight Timer app, and I find a 5 to 10 minute guided meditation, and I do a 5 to 10 minute guided meditation. And I also, one thing that's a huge stress reliever for me is working out. I had to make a home gym. They shut down my gym, and I almost lost my mind. If I don't work out, I am so grumpy. And believe me, Sarah of 4 years ago was like, man, take it or leave it with working out. You know, I work out like maybe 2 days a week. It wasn't something that I needed to do because it wasn't a coping mechanism for me at that time. Now it's kind of a coping mechanism. I need it for stress relief. So if I don't work out for a few days, my family knows and they can feel it. They sense my tension and my stress, and I'm just not as nice. And so I just make sure I work out at least. I mean, I work out every day, but some days it's just a walk.
Sure.
Sometimes
Yeah, but movement is so key.
days just some every day I do something little.
Mm-hmm.
Some days, 4 days a week, I do a bigger workout. 3 days, I just go for a walk with the dogs, or you know what I mean? Just move your body. Your body will thank you. It doesn't matter what you do.
Sure.
Even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes, just move your body.
Sure.
And then your nutrition, my nutrition, you know what I do. You know, I'm obsessed with my nutrition company, but nutrition is key. Nutrition is everything. You've got to be healthy, especially right now, COVID-19. If you're setting yourself up for failure, you're more likely to get it and be more susceptible to it by your lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
And that scares the crap out of me. Like my kids say, "Do you think we'll get it, Mom?" And I'm like, I can't say if we're going to get it or not. Right. I don't know, but I can tell you right now, we're doing everything in our power to be as healthy as we can if we do get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. We eat the protein. We definitely are like super healthy. We take our probiotics and our vitamins and all that fun stuff. We're just trying to do our best to stay as healthy as we can. So if we do get it, maybe it won't be as detrimental for us.
Right. Yeah. No, and I think that's so key. And I just got my shipment this morning of the stuff. So I think it makes a big difference, all the things that you're saying. And, you know, it can be hard. You know, I think right now moms are feeling so overwhelmed with helping their kids do their schoolwork and getting their own work done and trying to time block and manage everything. Do you have any advice for moms who just feel like, I don't have one more second in the day? How can I fit in time for a walk or a meditation or
if you don't fit in time for yourself, everything will implode. I'm telling you right now, when I realized that self-care was not selfish but mandatory for everybody in my family, I found the time. It's not about saying I don't have the time. It's about saying I'm not making the time. I make the time for myself every day. Because I know that I can't pour from an empty cup. If my cup is empty, I get crabby and grumpy and nobody wants to be around me. I have to make sure my cup right now, even more so than ever, with all the stress, I have to be sure I'm filling my own cup and then letting the overflow go into everybody else. Because, you know, like we were talking about before, no matter how you shape this, it's a trauma. This is a trauma. So, I was talking to somebody about what is considered trauma, and we were talking about how he said something about the king who loses his kingdom, that's a trauma. And he said, and the little girl who loses her doll, that's a trauma. It's all different. It's different, but we are all experiencing a trauma right now.
No, I agree. And I was actually reading something before this, and it was saying trauma is, you know, when something happens too soon, too quickly, like, you know, all of a sudden, like something happens and you didn't have time to process or adjust and manage it. And I think that's what we're all going through, is no one had time to really like prepare or to think this through or to, you know, so I think, you know, we're all living through it. And I think people use humor to get through it, and trying to use social media to feel connected. And, you know, we FaceTime our family members every day, and the boys are FaceTiming or Zooming with their friends, and, you know, trying very hard to fit it in. But I love, you know, how you're saying that you may have to give up something else to make time for yourself, but it's okay to make yourself a priority, because you're going to be a better mom and you're going to be feeling better, and that's going to make everything easier in your household.
And it shouldn't be a question of if you're going to, it's a question of how you're going to.
Yeah.
You have to make time for yourself in this. You have to, or you're going to lose your sanity.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was Rachel Hollis or who, but I remember reading something where they said, if you have a doctor's appointment, it's on your calendar, right? 9 o'clock doctor's appointment. You should do the same for yourself, like 10 o'clock walk, and you don't miss the appointment. You wouldn't miss your doctor's appointment. You don't miss your own movement appointment.
For some reason, we can give up on ourselves. We can fail ourselves. We can let ourselves down. But if it came to, if it was our family or our friends, or when they asked us to do something, we would do it. But when it comes to making promises to ourselves, we love to break them. Yeah. And we need to stop breaking the promises to ourselves.
Yeah, because it's just hurting us in the long run. Yeah, agreed.
And it's going to hurt your family in the long run too.
Yeah.
Especially if you have those unhealthy coping skills, you're going to teach those to your kids.
Yeah, right.
And that's how they're going to cope.
Yeah. And I mean, children are so good at imitating what they see, right? They're not so great at listening all the time, but they will imitate you. And so if you're making sure that you're modeling positive things, then that's what they'll imitate, is those positive strategies that you're using. Yeah. I think it's good for kids to see us process different things and have different emotions and use our strategies and coping tools. So then they feel like, okay, we all do this. It's something we have to work on. It's a skill process, not something we're just born with capability to do.
Yeah, no, it's a practice for sure. All of it is a practice. It's not something that we just were born with.
Yeah. So what would you like to say to anyone watching? There's been so much conversation lately about some people just thinking social distancing is stupid. Some people thinking it's unreasonable. I saw a post the other day that's saying it's we're Americans and we have the freedom to do what we want, and that they shouldn't have to stay home or social distance. And so I just, what are your thoughts on that? And, how are you making sure that your family stays safe right now?
Okay, so my thought on this is, if you had told me 6 months ago that they were going to shut down our schools, that they were going to shut down their businesses, that they were going to shut down our gyms and anything non-essential, I would have laughed at you and said they never, ever would have done that. That's crazy. They can't do that.
Sure.
I would have thought that. I would have said that 6 months ago. I honestly, when this started happening, I'm like, this can't be reality.
Sure.
So my thought is, if they have gone to the measures to shut down the schools,
right,
this is something we need to take very seriously.
Yes.
It's something that is spreading like wildfire. If we can't bring our kids to school, this is big, and this is something we really need to take seriously. If people are not social distancing, they're doing themselves a big disservice. They're doing the whole population around them a big disservice. Because have you seen those diagrams with the spread?
Yes.
It is so scary. Exponential growth, I think it's called. It's scary. But then they show the diagram and they show one person who didn't go to the grocery store, one person who didn't go to a party, one person, and then it shuts it down.
Yeah.
So I feel like with social distancing, we have to do it. I don't know if you've seen on my social media, the birthday brigades we're doing. That's amazing. I did number 11 today. So I've been organizing birthday brigades because I know we have to do social distancing, but I feel so bad for all these kids. My daughter has about 10 girls whose birthdays are between March and April in her grade. So I felt so bad. I said, I don't know what we can do. And then I saw a thing on the news, like a little 5-year-old boy, and he was waving to cars as they went by. I'm like, I'm bringing that here. Bring it to our community. So I started it, and it has exploded. So now I have a group of people who will show up to any birthday brigade that I do. In case someone doesn't have a lot of people that will go. So today's birthday brigade was amazing. The fire department, the police department, and I think like 50 cars for 12-year-olds to celebrate and bring the light. That's all.
Well, you know what? It's not only are you doing something for the 12-year-old, but everyone involved is filling their bucket and they're feeling good.
That's it. I have had moms come to me crying and say, I need to thank you because my son hasn't left his bedroom.
Wow.
Since started, but when I told him what we were doing, he was so excited. He is now making us spreadsheets and actually keeping everything for us. I'm like, that makes my heart so happy. Like, I'm so excited to be able to get other people involved. I had another mom, she's like, if you start a group, I'll help you admin, because she knows how busy I am. So I started a group, and she's helping me admin it and helping me like make sure everyone knows where we're going and where we're meeting.
That's awesome.
It's seriously amazing to bring our community together in such a big way.
Yeah. It's just keeping a positive focus, right?
Yeah. And then it gives us something to do every day without being in danger.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we're not like, usually we'd like be like, we're bored, let's go to Walmart or Target or the mall, or you know what I mean? Now we can't do that. Like TJ Maxx, man, I miss TJ Maxx.
Yes, I know. We had the little things that we didn't really appreciate, right? And we took for granted.
If you had told me that they were shutting down TJ Maxx, I would have really walked around for a long time the day before. So, what do you say to that mom who's sitting at home and is feeling completely stressed and overwhelmed, but feels like she doesn't have a right to those types of feelings because her family's healthy and, she doesn't want to seem weak and she doesn't want other people to think that she's, not a strong person, but she's really kind of drowning in some negativity, but feeling like she can't ask for help or reach out to people or let people know how she's really feeling? What I would say to her is, you are not alone. You are not, no matter what you feel and what you think, you are not alone. We all have, we were talking about that before, the waves. Like there's days where you feel really strong. And then there's days where you feel really down. This morning was a really down time for me because I went to the middle school to pick up my stuff and I cried.
Yeah.
And I cried and I let myself cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I let myself grieve the life that is different right now. Grieve my old life. Because right now it's okay to accept your emotions and to feel your emotions. Sorry, I have like 5 texts coming in right now. Just accept yourself for who you are. Don't feel like you have to be Superwoman. Don't feel like you always have to be on. Take care of yourself and grieve. Find a person you can talk to and grieve the life that you had and the changes that are going on. Because when you go through the emotions is when you can get better with them. When you stuff them down, they get big, they get bad, they get out of control. We don't want you to stuff your emotions down. You need to talk to somebody. And if you need to talk to somebody, you can talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Thank you. No, I mean, I think that's so key is that we're all feeling like that. Even if people aren't saying it, they're not walking around kind of advertising that they're having a hard time. We all have those flows, right? Like some days, you know, I know the other day when I was watching the Navy medical boat pull into New York City, it just hit me and I just started crying. And my son's like, but it's good, mommy, right? They're here to help. And I'm like, it is good, buddy. But it's just, you know, it's hard to see that we're at this point where we need the Navy to come in to help because the New York is so hurting. And so that's, it just kind of affected me to see that big visual of this huge boat coming in and just kind of what it represented for me. It just hit me and I was sad and I went with it. And, you know, I didn't cry all day. I pulled myself together, but I think letting yourself have those feelings in that moment keeps you from building up and then exploding, you know?
Exactly. I agree with you completely. We have to feel our emotions. We have to feel our feels. So I say to the girls too, I'm like, when you're feeling something, feel it. Don't try to stuff it down. Yeah. Emotions are there for a reason. They have a purpose.
Right. Yeah. And you have to find someone who you feel comfortable talking to, whether it's a friend or a family member or whoever. But I think getting it out.
Or even your journal. Even your journal. A journal is a great thing. I wish I could journal, but I'm just not a journaler. Yeah. Some people are really good at journaling, and this is a great time to take to your journal and really pour your heart out into there too.
Yeah, whatever your outlet could be for sure.
I think of my social media as my journal. That's why it's so raw and honest.
Yeah. I think that's great because it's helping people too. You know, even if people aren't commenting on it, they're seeing it and there's like relating to it or laughing and then moving on and, you know, feeling like, okay, you know, she's going through it too. And, you know, her life's not perfect either because there's no such thing as a perfect life, you know?
Right.
So just to end, I really want to end on a positive note because I really try every day to be so intentional that no matter what we're going through, there's something that's working. There's something positive going on that we can choose to focus on. So, when all of this is over and we're kind of back to our normal lives, what is one thing that you hope is different at the end of all of this?
Honestly, when this first started, I said, oh, I wish my kids were little when this happened so that we could do all those fun things that I see all the other moms doing online. My kids are 12 and 13. They barely want to be around me. But I think honestly, this was the best time for this to happen because now it's the time where they're trying to break away from me and do their own thing, but it's the time where they're stuck with me. I'm hoping from all of this that the three of us, well, my husband too, but he's downstairs working. He's not up here as much. That the three of us, me, my son, and my daughter, that we have a better relationship and a better understanding of each other at the end of this because we've been spending so much time together that we just haven't done since they were babies.
Yeah. Yeah, so just keeping that connection going afterwards.
Yeah, I feel like if people look at this and say, hey, instead of saying I have to stay home, I'm stuck at home, you can say I'm safe at home. Yes. And I get to focus on what I want to focus on in my home. How often do we get the chance to do that, to focus solely on our kids? Right. Or to focus on cleaning our house, or to focus on organizing our closets, or to focus on our fur babies, or you know, focus on the things that you love about your home or the things you want to fix up about your home. Focus on the positive. Find those amazing things that can happen. Cultivate those relationships.
Yeah, I agree.
Connection was my word of the year for 2020.
Was it?
Yeah. So it's been funny that I can't do much in-person connecting.
Yeah, but you're connecting with your family more. So maybe you know, that's how you can.
Everything happens the way it's supposed to. I mean, honestly, like I don't know if you saw the quote where it was talking about how in just a matter of days the environment was starting to clean itself up.
I did see that.
That was that's something absolutely positive. We've got to find the positives in this.
Right.
There are definitely silver linings all over the place in this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think after it's over and we can leave our house, being more intentional, more thoughtful of not, burning the candle at both ends and not, doing more than we need to, and finding time to be still and rest and heal ourselves.
And I feel like the world has been telling us, the universe, the world, the earth, everything has been telling us to slow down and to look at what's important.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't listen.
Yeah.
And it forced it on us.
And now we have to listen.
Mm-hmm. Now we have to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
This will be posted on my Facebook for Beacon Parent Coaching and my website. And, I'm sure people will be checking you out as well. And,
Oh, if you want to find me on social media, I'm at Sarah Omen on SarahOmmen on Instagram. And then I also have a Facebook page, Sarah Omen Inspired Living.
Yeah, and then they can check out your captain blogs.
And then they can actually follow. I keep everything pretty public on my Facebook so they can see my captain's blog.
Yeah. If they're looking for a laugh, they can check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's so good to talk to you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.